Hi guys, welcome back to the Ronin YouTube channel, and today, as you can see in front of me, we are talking about the 2017 Mark 7.5 Golf GTE. Now this is actually my dad's car. He's had it for 18 months and has nearly completed 52,000 miles in it in that period. So what we're going to do is we're going to just go a quick overview of the car, basically explain what it is, because it's quite a rare car and they've actually now discontinued them. It is the hybrid performance version of the Volkswagen Golf. In terms of the body, it is, well, pretty much standard Mark 7.5 Golf. A few of the defining GTE characteristics: this C LED daytime running lights, the blue accenting throughout the car, and also we have a Volkswagen charging port in here, which is currently locked as the car is running. This is the GTE Advanced model, which means it's got a few more bits of kit than the regular vehicles would get. This includes folding mirrors, the radar cruise control, I'll go through later. It's got the dynamic indicators, 19-inch alloys, black privacy glass, as you come around to the back, smoked rear lights as well as the spoiler here. In terms of the styling of the car, it's fairly similar to the Volkswagen Golf GTD, as they are pretty much the same in terms of looks and styling, with the bumpers and front bumpers and side skirts, but it's the powertrain that really makes the difference. This is the 1.4 TSI engine coupled to an electric motor, which combined produce around 200 horsepower. As you can see here, we've got more GT badging. It's meant to be good for a combined MPG figure of over about 100 miles per gallon. However, as I'll show you, that's not exactly the case. That's only, as ever, dependent on the perfect level of factors all combining to create that. Day-to-day driving, you're more likely to get much less. Believe it or not, we don't actually charge the car very often. Most of the time it's done with self-charging or at free charging stations. We never plug it in because it just takes too long. In terms of range on electric, you'll be good to get 30 miles out of it. Then with the petrol tank, it's around 300 to 350 miles. Combined, that's, well, you can do the maths, just under 400 miles. So we're going to take a look inside now. This car's finished in white silver, which is sort of an oddie grey white colour. As you can see, it's not the cleanest. We've also got the Climb Air wind deflectors here. Moving on to the interior, as you can see, it's a fairly well appointed performance Golf. We've got the tartan seats with the blue accents, blue stitched multifunction square bottom steering wheel. If we get in the vehicle, as you can see, we've got the virtual cockpit or active information display, the latest addition from the Volkswagen Group. We've got a nice multifunction steering wheel here with all your settings for the cruise control, adaptive cruise control, which means you can set the distance to the car in front and it will maintain it. We also have our telephone and that sort of thing. We have the latest Discover navigation with proximity sensing, so we can just put a hand near the car and, as you can see, the car recognises the hand is there and shows up the menu. It's a good system, apart from the fact that, as you can see, there's fingerprints all over it. It does offer Apple CarPlay, Android Auto Mirror Link as well, which is quite nice and handy. We've got the 7-speed DSG gearbox, complete with paddles on the back of the steering wheel. Tried and tested, great Volkswagen gearbox, and really quick, double clutch, nice and easy to use. 9 times out of 10, it's mainly driven just in drive, because the GT system's quite weird and actually prefers that it does the gear changing rather than you. We've got the black headlining here, we've got our SOS buttons and various other bits. We've got a cubby just in here. We've got a nice frameless mirror, and the view out is actually not too bad. Back seat, back leg room, not too bad. Due to the quite stiff suspension, long journeys can be quite uncomfortable for backseat passengers. There's sort of a feeling of, it creates a bit of feeling of sickness. But apart from that, it's not too bad. We've got our electric handbrake here, which you push down to take off, pull up to put it on. It's also automatic, so when you put the car in park and leave it, it will automatically put the handbrake on. Moving down to here, as you can see, we've got E mode. This pretty much speaks for itself. This means the car will run in E mode, which is electric only power. We then have the engine noise button, and as you can see, we've got a confirmation that I've just turned that on, and all that does is just pump sound into the cabin. We've also got our GTE mode, which means, as you can see, this is our optimum performance mode, which gives you full power from the electric motors and full torque from the engine at once. In terms of other modes, by pressing E mode, we then get a selection of hybrid, battery hold and battery charge, which again speaks for themselves. Hybrid will optimise the use of electric power. Battery hold will obviously just use the engine and not use any of the battery, and then battery charge will actually use the engine's power to charge the battery, which means it can actually be quite inefficient, but does get the battery charged. As you can see here, we've been achieving 44.1 mpg in the last 4,000 miles on average, which means that actually those claims of over 100 are fairly unrealistic. I'm sure that if you actually use the hybrid system as it was designed for the eco purposes, you'd actually get much higher than that. But in everyday driving on motorways and such, sometimes it's just not possible, and actually it's more effective to drive just on the petrol alone. But yeah, it's not too bad, this car. It has completed just under 52,000 miles, which is quite a lot for a car of this age. 18 months, it's an average around 26,000 miles. Well, no, more than that actually. If it was 2 years old, it would be 26,000 miles a year, but it's about 30,000 miles overall. So yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lift the bonnet for you guys so you can actually see what is under there. There isn't actually that much to see. It's all fairly covered up. Come around to the front here. We'll try and remember how to unlock it. There we are. And as we can see, we've got our 1.4 TSI engine coupled with the electric stuff that you are, as you can see, told not to touch at all. You risk you might kill yourself. In terms of reliability, as obviously it's covered quite a fair few miles, we have had a couple of issues. First of all, actually, with the turbo, it was some sort of management sensor or something like that that went. That was about 30,000 miles in, which wasn't pleasant because it happened in the third lane of the motorway. Suddenly the car lost all power. In terms of other issues, we've had the infotainment system had a complete failure and had to be replaced. This took nearly 2 months in the garage because it was a part that Volkswagen didn't have readily available. Another issue we've had is the the virtual cockpit actually failing as well. This was caused by another computer failure, but again was fixed under warranty by Volkswagen. It happened one morning when the windscreen wiper sprayer was used, and suddenly all of this just went off, which isn't great because we lost all sorts of dials. Couldn't tell you speed or anything like that on a dual carriageway, which is always fun. But yeah, apart from that, guys, it's been a fairly decent car. I'll just quickly show you the boot space as well, and I've just got back in. I'll quickly have a look at the back. Fairly decent space. As you can see, he's got a load of crap in there. and there's more crap in here. But it's fairly dog friendly. We've got a decent sized dog. It's okay. As you can see, the boot floor is quite high because that's where the battery is for the electric motors, which does eat into your space. So if it's something you want to use for lugging around all sorts of stuff, then that will have an impact on how much you can carry. But yeah, apart from that, it's been a fairly good car. My dad's done nothing but really sing its praises. He likes the performance. In terms of the nice torque and power delivery, it's fairly good because of the electric motor. So he's always driven diesels. He comes from a Mercedes C-Class, and he actually enjoys the way this drives because it's quite similar, because the electric motors actually give you instant torque. But yeah, so thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. We've got plenty more videos coming on cars. We're going to do a video on this, our camper van. And yeah, we've got plenty of other videos coming up. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.